Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spinner Rack. I'm here with the boys, PD and Kyle. Say what's up, guys.
Yo,
Yo,
Ready to rock.
we're gonna go straight to it. Today we're gonna be talking about the trailer for Thor, Love and Thunder. We got a lot to say. Selector, please play.
These hands were once used for battle. Now they're but humble tools for peace. I need to figure out exactly who I am. Choose my own path. My superhero days are over. Remember what I told you? You ever feel lost? Just look into the eyes of the people that you love. Not me. What? Just listen.
Okay, gents, what can I say? What can I say? That was pretty eye-opening there. So I'm gonna pass it on to our boy Cal. What was your thought on that?
Oh
Thor,
wow, that
Love
looked
and
real.
Thunder.
That look okay. I'm gonna take this two ways. One, as a lifelong comic reader, you know that looked terrible. 100% terrible. At the end of the day, I don't recognize Thor. The Thor that they introduced from the first film to the Thor that they have there right now is a totally different guy. 100%. However, as a Marvel fan, if you enjoyed everything that they've done with Thor up to this point, well, this is more of the same. They've doubled down on it. So how could you not be happy with it? So enjoy.
I mean, definitely you have they have a funny, more lighter Thor from what we can see there, But I'll tell you before I pass it on to PD, just one glaring omission that I was hoping that I was actually hoping to see, and there's a glaring omission I was hoping to see somewhere, and that is, something on, the God Butcher himself. I mean, you have no sense of anybody coming there. All this basically do is just a setup trailer from what I can see. It's setting up Thor. We're seeing him change from working out and from when he's a little kid to where he grows. We have some setup shots of things that are happening. Him with the Guardians of the Galaxy, the team up aspect of it. We even see Thor. We see Jane Foster as Thor herself. With a reforged. And I don't want to say the hammer's name because I'm tired of you guys jumping all over me, but a reforged hammer, which are all good.
Mjolnir.
All good.
Mjolnir. It's
With a
not
good.
hard, man.
he wants to
But
call
where
it
is the God Butcher? Where is Christian Bale? I ask you, where is he?
Okay.
another
Well,
character. That's what you're gonna go for, and yet another character.
I look
He's supposed
again.
to be the nemesis of the show.
Once again, you're all about the villain. You're all about the villain. That's all you live for.
No. Not at all. We have to have balance in this world. It got to be both. P, to throw this guy out. What's this man talking about? All about the villain, man. Once again, he's totally off his
Look,
rockers.
I gotta say that they've taken Bob Layton's Hercules and they pushed it to the limit on Thor. They've gone too far with the humor. There's no need to see that he worked out to lose the weight, and I guess
No, you gotta show that. You
no,
gotta
you
show that.
don't.
No, you don't.
No. That's no. Come on, man. That's for you. You're being
That's
very
not for
realistic.
me.
That's for you. You don't need to see the parts with Thor growing up when he was little Thor in the little Thor outfit, and now he's big Thor in the big Thor. We don't need to see that. We don't need to see him over here working with these iron chains like he's over here at what is it, the harbor at Harbor Fitness or something. We don't need to see any of that. But this film is not for you. Okay? This film is for them. And this is what they need to see. They need to see, well, how did Thor lose weight? That's how he lost weight. Okay, what about this? And all the extra humor, we're gonna go over the top with it. We're gonna go over top with it. Remember, when we saw Thor at the end of Ragnarok, Thor was the leader of Asgard. Now he's talking like he doesn't even want to be a superhero anymore. You know, my days of being a superhero are done. So that's how far we've come from that film at the end of the day. So this film isn't for us, it's for them. And they're
All
gonna
right.
enjoy it.
All right. So I'm gonna go in on this, right? So this is I haven't given my full review of this trailer or teaser or whatever this thing is. Ultimately, I'm gonna be repeating what I normally say. It's just too many characters, too many friends of Thor. I think I can, there were none of my original comments, but I agree with what Cal was saying about, about this so far. But one of the things is like, besides having all these characters, is like we're not getting this story here. This female Thor, the idea that the hammer was, it's just so much stuff. When we look at Thor's arc from whether you can, people want to just discount the first two Thor movies. The first one keeps getting better and better as you keep going through the rest of these Marvel movies. At least a complete, full story of Thor dealing with humility, and then becoming, coming back to Thor and being the person who inspired the Warriors 3 and Sif. Right? You got that. And two, yes, there's some struggles with that. But then you get to three. Thor is going through this struggle because he loses his father, he loses his way, and then he gains it at the end, as Cal was saying. And then next thing you know, he goes on another journey that totally breaks him even worse than the other one. That this thing happens and then he gets fat. None of the other characters lose it that much. They're sitting around saving the day, but Thor is the one that gets broken beyond belief. And I was like, I was okay to see because there wasn't enough for Rigo, but it's like they broke him too much, and now he's still broken. He's still
No, these guys again.
he's still
I'm with
broken.
you. I'm
But
with
wait a
you
second,
on
wait a
this.
second. But that's it. Then you throw in all of that stuff that they throw in. When I first looked at it, all right, there's a linear thing where I see where it's going. Now, when I first said it's like, oh my God, too many characters. Now there's a linear thing of the Guardians leaving. They didn't need to let us know that. They just did not put them in the trailer at all. But then next thing you know, because I was like, they're going to be in there, but they leave, right? He's with the rock guy or whatever. And then next thing you know, we got this, female Thor, go Claremont, Lady Thor, just Thor, right? So they got Jane Foster in there, or another actress. She transforms. She looks different when she becomes Thor now, and it's just like I don't need that. And we didn't get to whatever the plot of the story is. And
There's no, they don't plot. I mean, look, this is. I've already said that Hollywood goes if the movie works, they double down on everything that people came for the first movie. So if it was a lot of humor, they're gonna have more humor, more hijinks, all of that stuff at the end of the day. But every single thing that you're saying about which I agree with, the things that I would love to see here, it's not that it's not that he's been broken enough. No, they've totally been selling that. They're like, hey, everybody loves to see broken Thor. So he's still gonna be broken. And we're gonna keep breaking him. This guy's never getting back to where he is. He's always gonna be in this broken position. And that's
No,
but again, it's not for me, it's not for you, it's for them, and they're gonna love it.
hey, look, I kind of see what you're saying there, but here I have problems with this trailer, but I kind of
what problems?
Yeah, what problems?
what problems? I mean, there's like
Besides Christian Bale not showing up, what problem do you really have?
well, I mean, so like what probably one of the very first problems that I have right here, right off the store. Let's talk about New Asgard and the cruise ships hanging out. First of all, he's the god of thunder, right? He's the Asgardian god. He's just given up his role to lead, to do that, his responsibility. He's given up his power, his ability to be the king of Asgard. We have someone else having that role. Then you have Asgard. The whole problem with Asgard being a little town on the Norwegian coast. Come on, man. What happened to the nine realms? All of it is gone. The whole thing is gone. That's what I miss about the whole shebang. There's no one recreating that. There's no one bringing that stuff together. There's no one trying to do none of that. You know. And then look at what they did to Olympus. I mean, it's a mockery with that plastic. What was that? That fake thunderbolt.
They
I was
want
like,
more Flash Gordon in there, but I agree. I
I'm
definitely
like,
agree.
I saw that. I'm like, are you for real? Is this Olympus? You know what I'm trying to say? They say
Look,
that's Russell
it's
Crowe. Come on, Russell. Don't be in another
it's
program
n-
where you keep
it's
them.
not for it's not for us, dudes. It's not for us. We got some good stuff, and we should be happy with what we got. It, but from here on in, it's not for us. It's the CW. It's for women and children. It's not for us. If
But
we're
you,
lucky,
I,
You
it
got another issue. You got another issue of Mjolnir being the hot potato. The last time we saw it, it was already in Cap's hand. Now hot potato, anybody can lift it. Hey, now Jane Foster can lift it. It's like
according to
you
the
going to Falco on us.
worthy. Anyone who's worthy can lift it.
how
Right?
many people are bloody worthy?
Clearly a lot. Hey, if they get that friggin' horse goat that they call, what's his name? Better Ray Bill to lift it. Anybody else can be able to lift it, as far as I'm
No,
concerned.
Okay,
the thing
all
was,
right,
the
okay.
thing was, it
That
wasn't the
that
That's not
story.
as many issues that story created going forward. That was a great story because anyone who was a Thor reader at that time understood what it meant. There was no worthiness in terms of Thor. Thor was punished by Odin because he was acting very arrogantly, and he said he needs a lesson in humility, and so he creates the simulacrum in terms of Don Blake. He has to learn to live with one lame leg. He's a doctor. He's helping other people to heal while he can't necessarily heal himself. And then, only then, when he has understands that and has learned that lesson, does Odin direct him towards finding the staff and reclaiming power. Once he has again learned humility, okay, he has become his proper self. He's Thor. This is not about. It's not like, hey, he can lose that humility. He gained it. He never had that stuff. That's a trait that he needed to develop. And once he developed it, that was it. When Beta Ray Bill comes over, the thing that you would scratch your head at is like, well, nobody else should be able to lift this because this should just be for Thor. It was only meant for him when he achieves this particular thing that was lacking in his own character. Not that there's a certain definition for worthiness and anybody can lift this hammer. That's what made the story interesting. It went from Beta Ray Bill to a whole host of other people now.
But they shouldn't have
You
opened
know,
it up. You know what they say about
No,
Enchanted?
no. You can't
You
go
gotta
to
be very tight
Pandora's
with that
box.
shebang.
You
You
can't
gotta
go
be
to
very tight.
no. You can't go to Pandora's box because if you look at how Walter Simonson also did it, when Beta Ray Bill when he picks up the stick is like, oh no, what happened to his weapon? I was going to utilize it. He doesn't lift the hammer. He taps the stick. He's about to break it. He thinks it's going to break it, and then next thing it turns into it. So the idea that Walter Simon said, no, I'm not going to take away, because they did it in a cartoon where they show him lifting it and then hitting Thor with the hammer, which makes no sense. But the thing of having the respect of not showing someone lift it is important, where you just see him, he transforms, and then we say, no, he can't lift it. As a kid, you're like, this is the worst thing that happened. I've seen Thor get beat up by everybody. Huh?
Pandora's
No,
box.
that's not Pandora's box. If you just do the same story over and over again, having a hair metal Thor that came up later, lifted in the future, then you had Cap. Huh?
Frog Thor.
no, they went Hollywood. They went Hollywood with this thing. The whole, I mean, and again, this is what you got to really give some credence to what PD is saying. It was done and constructed in a manner, okay. And again, the other line thing was that this was not supposed to be possible because the hammer was meant for Thor. There are no two Thors in the universe. So the idea of Beta Ray Bill being able to do this was an interesting story. Was an interesting, sequencing was an interesting story idea because it's like, well, what if there was somebody who shared exactly the same? We're talking even to the point where Beta Ray Bill was mimicking Donald Blake to a large extent at the end of the day. So that's where the story went at the end. That's where the story was, and okay, I enjoyed that. But then you come over there. I mean, as much flack as Kurt Busiek may have gotten for JLA versus Avengers he tried to address it there. But then, by the time you get to Jane Foster, you've had Beta Ray Bill, Captain America, that dude from the future, Eric Masterson, Wonder Woman, Superman for a little bit of time, Jane Foster, even Conan was able to carry the damn thing, at one point. It's just ridiculous.
We got it, but the point is it's already out, and that's all I was saying. We don't have to belabor the point. It's out. The horse
No,
guy.
it takes away. It says at the same time when you go back to Endgame, even though it's a fun scene for everybody else,
It was a great
it's
scene.
like, huh?
It was a great scene.
You took away it should be a team fighting him, not just Cap with the hammer holding them off. It's like you're saying, no, you know what? We're gonna give Cap some time here because every movie he's had to share it with everybody else. So this end game, we're gonna give it all to him, and people are gonna lose it because like they. But it's the thing is now you go too far and just like here. This hammer, the cool hammer, is now with somebody else. So now we can pass this. We can do a trade, right? And then the axe is gonna go to somebody else. Come on, it's too much stuff. Too much stuff,
All
man.
right, all right.
Well,
Whether
that's
it's too
hey,
much or not, that's
that's
what's happening now. That's what's happening.
that's where we no. That's what we know. It happened now. It started then, but that's when you started losing stuff at the end of the day. And a lot of the things that I thought were very enjoyable, a lot of the things that I thought that they married pretty well from the comics to film, they decided, we're going to go this different. We're going this particular route, and it's just not for us. It's not for us. We had a good run. We had almost 10 solid years of films that we could go and we could say, okay, good, this works, so on and so forth, can have some really great discussion about it. But now look at what we've gotten between the TV shows and what we're, getting, coming down in the films. Look, it's very obvious they're not making the films for us. If we enjoy a film here and there, we should consider ourselves.
So
We should just consider ourselves. We should just consider ourselves lucky. If we never enjoy a film again, the consolation is that we did have those particular years. But we got to realize it's not for us. It's the CW now. It's not for us.
The Thor franchise has been something that's been up and down from what we see. And let's give this thing. Let's be fair, John. This is just. I consider this more of a teaser than a full trailer with an understanding of what's going on. Okay, because we do see already they said that that this is one of the top 10 trailers that has been dropped ever already on the internet. Okay,
so I'm not sure what that has to do with this.
I'm just trying to say in terms of popularity.
You've got a great track in it,
Right, great track.
You got that sort of thing, but it's an okay trailer. But as far as the character, they're throwing it out.
Right, with Jane Foster in it, you've seen Thor.
That's more the same.
So what I'm just saying,
we already had.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that I think that if we're going to develop the story of the God Butcher coming up, and that's the key thing here, who's going after gods who. What is it? The gods who are lazy, gods who.
That's your big gripe that we don't get to see the villain.
No, what are you talking about, bro? I'm talking about
exactly what I just said.
I'm talking about what the story is about.
This is the third time you're bringing up when you see Thor.
It's a legitimate point. It's a legitimate point about the theory. We want to know what the story is about. All we basically saw is just snapshots of things that will be fan service. Midgelinar, we see that. We see James
Mjolnir.
You keep saying the what's that thing? The Thor's letter column, mail joiner. Hey, we're going to the mail joiner.
Not that hard, man. Mjolnir.
The destruction of Hercules and the gods of Olympus, the way they look. I mean, come on, they look like
Hercules was in that trailer?
I'm not, but I'm saying just looking at this, it gives me the idea. Is like Hercules.
Well, I heard they're going to make Hercules gay for the Marvel universe, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So when they do that, I'm officially out. So you guys will be able to review all the stuff that you like, but I'll be taking a pass at that point.
I don't think they're going to do that because you got to come into the Avengers or something like that. We're talking about Thor.
So no, they're gonna no. Look, I keep saying it's not for us.
Well,
it's for them.
All right. Even that's the thing. Even if, as I keep saying, they're doing Marvel's Hercules, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek, kind of like that sort of like a lot of humor to him, a lot of bolstering and not always living up to expectation type of deal. Like they're not giving it. Like he never, that character never had these breakdowns of his character. He still would, no matter what, would have this positive attitude. So they're not even doing that. They're doing this other thing. And
Hercules never shirked. Hercules may have been a screw up from time to time because he was like always like, look, I just want to have some fun. I want to get some girls in here, want to party, want to show off. But Hercules never shirked from his responsibilities or duty when they were set before him. If Zeus said, look, I need you back at Olympus, he did it. But Zeus may have been like, man, when are you going to live up to your potential? But Hercules never shirked his responsibilities if presented to him. Okay, Thor is the guy who was sitting on the couch, getting a beer gut.
Well, that's the thing. I'm still going to Thor. If you look at when people throw out Walter Simonson's Thor, and they keep saying, "Oh yeah, that's what I like," but they throw out all the things that this Thor was a person who inspired a lot of, like he not only inspired the Asgardians when he makes the decision to not, be the leader because he has to take care of not only protect Asgard, but he has Earth at the same time. So he's like, I can't do both of these things. Not that, hey, I just want to walk around the Earth and do nothing. Like he was saying, this is my, but at the same time, he does, his face is all jacked from Hela, and he has this like inspiring speech to the Asgardians. They're just like, yes, we'd rather you, but that sort of thing. Or when he becomes a frog and he's larger than the rest of them, and he inspires the frogs to fight back against the rats, and it's just like this character, like where he didn't play it like Thor wasn't inspiring, and even in the moments in the Kirby run where Thor gets beat by Hercules because his father takes half of his power, then Hercules gets tossed to the side, and like he gets stuck in hell by Pluto. And then next thing you know, Thor is like, I got to go out there and save him. And he's like, wait a second, all this bad stuff I did to you, try to take your girl and all that, beat you in a fight, and you still came and he didn't even know him. Like this sort of the person that inspires you. And they had a moment of that when you see the Guardians seeing Thor, and they were just like in awe. But then they kind of undercut that by like going to the humor, where they had such a good moment in the Infinity War where they kind of went away from that, where we have the Russos kind of playing up to it. And it seems like someone woke up and said, hey, you got to use Fat Thor. It's like, what? Well, we don't have anything for him to do. So this is, this is Chris's movie. So here, you got Fat Thor. So it just hurts to see that he's walking away from stuff, but you get lead into this other stuff because he got his friend. And the thing is that you have to have this guy in action, right? Even though when he has these dark moments, because he had dark moments in the Simonson run, he's still a person who's doing the right thing, and we kind of lost that in this sort of fun romp of having a hero that's going to be sitting around there working out, but then he still just wants to walk around in graphic tees. It's just like, come on. Like, even if you're going to go to, was it Sergei Jolson type of thing, this is a character who had so many great moments as a human being Thor, and he goes to a family's house and he inspires the kids, and he's like saying, hey, he said, I love vegetables. And the kid is like, I love vegetables too. And he's like, no, you hate vegetables. And then he's like washing dishes and all. It's like the greatest scene by Sal Buscema and whatnot of Thor just doing some random mundane stuff, which and like tossing the kid around in the house and telling stories about his father. And they're like, I think he's not Spider-Man. I think he's Thor. But that sort of character that can be fun because Walter Simon did have some fun in there too, and obviously the earlier runs had some fun in there. It kind of lost when kind of Shooter was kind of directing him to be this guy who was like Don Blake was okay with Earth. Thor was like, I can't deal with humans type of deal. You can see it in Secret Wars. So I just think getting to the real character, but now what's the name? The other thing, Ragnarok is kind of taking it into the let's get how much hard rock in there and some jokey stuff and get that Flash Gordon stuff in there, and people will buy it and they'll just love it and they'll just have fun. It's just like what they say about the no, not comic book movies, but the real description by William Goldman about comic book movies that is not that much substance to these things, and that's what it's kind of going to. Whereas you can see in the first story, even though if all the pieces weren't there, it did have a heart, right? It did have this thing where Thor, the humility, the thing where he can't lift the hammer, and then him fighting against the destroyer, even though he knows he's going to die, and he doesn't know that he's going to gain it back, right? We don't, and then you see him get, I mean, most movies, they see the person get hurt, and then later it pops up, but it did still have that emotional push. And that's what I think these things are lost by just turning this into what was described before as a comic book movie.
So you agree with me that we're missing God the Culture?
Oh, God. Whatever you say, sir. Whatever you say.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same
I said everything I could say.
So is this a yes or a no for you, Cal?
Oh, well, I'm going to see the film, but my expectations, I have zero expectations. I have zero interest in seeing this film, even though I'm going to see it. So I mean, Marvel did it took a while, but it was faster than I expected it was going to be, and the TV shows definitely helped. But Marvel has definitely removed any sort of anticipation and expectation and desire that I have to see anything that they're producing in terms of superhero movies.
God damn. Petey, what about you? You can come in a little bit lighter than that.
How can I? You know that I struggle with this. There's nothing. I don't know if there's anything outside of the Guardians 3 that I want to see. Like I don't want to see. I'm really this Doctor Strange thing. That's another thing where they have characters. I don't know if I want to be in there. Outside, no, I can't even get hyped up about Quantum Mania because we've cast Kang, who doesn't run around in the Kang outfit. He runs around in oversized robes and whatnot, and it's just
That
like
was He Who Remains. That's the thing. Okay, so that's a different
you
character.
really want to get on my nerves now with that He Who Remains.
Okay.
Like some
we're talking about Thor, the God and the God.
I'm saying Marvel wise, I don't know. I don't know if they're making the movies for me anymore. Right? I don't know. I think I could trust the Russos. No, I think at Infinity War I really like that, but post that, it's kind of been like Guardians 3. This Thor thing is just that's a character that I like a lot, and I would I would check out the character because I saw the origins of Marvel Comics, and I liked the two stories in there because they had the story where the second story, Balder and Sif come down to find Thor, and they come to Don Blake's his office, his practice, and they're like, for some reason we need to be here, but there's no sign of the God of Thunder, and then Don Blake, you have found him. And they're like, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm here, and he does that. He hits the stick down, and then next thing you know, is they're like in awe. What's the name? Sif is like loses it. Balder's like, you know what? He's great, even though Sif don't see me anymore. It's real sad, but it's just all this drama that was in there, this character, which was just fun. And I'd always check on him to see if he was getting back to where he was supposed to be. And he kept drifting and drifting away. So this is them drifting away during that period where they had that. But it's not, obviously they have this fun humor stuff in there. And, it's, it just, some of it works, but it's just hard for a character of Thor that I know, right? So it's like, you can have it, even seeing the Norse god comic book that's out there, Norse mythology, where it has some of the humor in there, it has a lot of humor in there, but it's just sort of like fun, but it's not getting to that. It shows that Thor is just like this guy that's so immensely powerful in these myths that he comes up with a fake name where the guy's like, I want to kill, if Thor comes here, I'm going to kill him. Say, no, this is not Thor, this is somebody else. So you can do that stuff, but the stuff he can do in those stories is just so immense. And these stories are just like, no, he's not going to be able to do anything. Like, he's going to be like secondary to what's the name? Like, when he decides that Balder's going to be the leader of Asgard, like, he makes the decision. He makes it like, my face is a mess. So I'm sorry, I trailed off. I got too bothered. So I'm probably going to see it because we have to review it, but I'm not going to be happy. You imagine the first Thor, he had the wing helmet in the first Thor. In Ragnarok, he had that wacky armor thing.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I do miss it too. So
come on, they did it. They got the costume right in the first in the movie.
But getting
everything that you just detailed about Thor comes from a period of reading a period of reading those comics, okay, and also a period of doing some really good development with this character. And so you're able to, and then again, they're able to distill what makes Thor unique of characters in terms of superhero comics, in terms of Marvel comics, because he's got other guys that he can contend with, and it comes down to that nobility and that inspirational aspect of his character, which we got to see maybe in one film, and then the second film didn't necessarily do what they were like, okay, we still need to find some balance, we don't know, and then the guy came with the third film saying we're gonna have some hard rock and hijinks, and that's where we are. And that's where we are at the end of the day. He's a very powerful character, and they also like to sideline the more powerful characters, because that means, well, look, if Thor could pretty much take care of a lot of this stuff on his own, so we got to do some things that, like, try to scale this dude back so we can get everybody else there involved. But we're also seeing that they want to do more ensemble pieces. They want to bring in, well, let's show this character and these people here, and so we get less Thor at the end of the day. So I understand where they're coming from with that, but you don't have to totally sacrifice the character. But this person that they're presenting is so distant from the guy that we were originally introduced to that, again, I've said once and I'll keep saying it, it's not for us. It's not for us. It's for them. And they have, they're looking at their numbers and they're saying, look, this is where the people are at. People do not want to see a noble, inspiring character in the figure of Thor. They want hard rock. They want good, some good hard rock tunes, or some good rock tunes at the end of the day. Some hijinks, some humor. Maybe we can get him to take his shirt off a couple of times, and look, we're good. We're gonna have, like, what, a good 600-700 million. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that we are looking this. I'm going to get back to the movie because I understand what you guys are saying, but I think that this is a good setup, and that not ideal, but it's an interesting setup and explains to us a lot of reasons what's going to happen with Thor. Because he's basically, and I tried to say before, that he's basically given up on his responsibilities as a god.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Because
I
of
don't
that,
think you do.
and
I
because
don't believe you, man. I don't believe you.
And because of that, we're going to have
Come on, Mars.
the
It's
God
okay,
Butcher.
man.
Gore the God
It's
Butcher is
okay.
going to come on, and that's
Tell
what
the people how you really feel.
And so,
Come on, man.
And so, what's
Come on.
going on? Hold on one second. So, what I'm saying, what you guys keep missing is that Gore comes with the Necro Sword, and a Necro Sword is what?
Oh my God! You want to have like heroes where he just goes around and kills people?
No, the Necro Sword is the
Sword
first
is with Venom.
symbiote. Exactly. That brings Venom into the universe. Bam!
Venom's already in the universe, ain't he? We saw a
Yeah.
droplet of Venom in the Spider-Man movie. We don't need to bring him in there again.
But that's what starts it all, man. That's what I'm trying to explain.
Another start at the store starting the Spider-Man movie.
He doesn't.
Oh
have to
no,
be
we
in
already got
Spider-Man.
a Venom movie.
He doesn't have to be
Who
in
needs
Spider-Man.
another Venom movie?
He doesn't have to be in Spider-Man. He's gonna be in Thor. This is what I'm trying to say. He's
No,
gonna move off the
no
line.
Venom in Thor. No,
It's the sword. The story is
no,
the Necro
no,
Sword, bro.
no Venom in Thor.
It's the Venom, baby. That's what I'm trying to
Thor
get.
would burn Venom into a crisp with his hammer. It would be over.
Not this Thor.
Not this Necro
Maybe
Sword.
not this Thor.
Not this Necro Sword. Okay.
I mean,
So-
I'm not, and mind you, I haven't even gone. I didn't even go after Jane Foster. There's no reason. Okay, in the comic, they never established why she was able to do any of that. Why she was worthy. Everybody just decided they liked the story because, hey, they didn't really care about Thor anyway. All the people who were reading it, and that was that. But here in the film, like, okay, we understand Thor, we understand Cap. Why is she lifting Mjolnir? So, and
No, they
or
said
they're gonna say,
they liked it. They liked that whole
Yeah,
Jason
it's-
Aaron stuff. They said they liked it, but why would they, if they liked it, as you were saying, I just keyed it right back to what Cal is saying. Why would you then be okay with Jane Foster getting it if you liked what Jason Aaron did with Thor? That made no sense to me. They're like, oh, we love this stuff.
Wasn't Jason Aaron the one who did Natalie Portman, who made Lady Thor?
That's the point. If you say they liked his run, why would you? We like what he did with Thor. Why would you then want him to take that and say, all right, I'm tossing Thor out. He's gonna get this because there's an editorial decree. And the next thing you know, she just Love and Thunder. Is Falcon gonna show up and kiss what's her name? And she's like, you kiss like a god. And then she said, you kiss like Captain America. Do you remember that scene?
And then he says, "Fantastic, baby."
That's all they need is add one more character to this. Add the Falcon to it. So my new girlfriend. Look at this. I brought the Falcon. I had to help him out. I had to carry him over to Asgard.
Way outside the bounds of this review. So let's bring it back in, gentlemen.
Asgard should not be on Earth. That's the first thing. I know they done stories like that stuff, but the good thing is they should have never done that. I don't know. I guess they're gods. They can make the land into everything. But then the Asgardians should be so much stronger than everyone. They just say, "Hey, I can't. I'm just getting so
Pete,
frustrated."
now me and you are talking. We're compatible. You know what I'm trying to say? We're together. You know what I'm saying? I can
No,
hear
I
it.
don't
All
understand
right,
what you're trying
I
to
And
say.
just
then,
What
and
are you
then,
read
trying
the
to say?
whole thing.
and then we have,
This,
and then now we don't forget the goat boat. So don't forget about that too.
I don't know. I don't
They
know.
were
This
saying
sounds
that they
something
were
like
so technology advanced. Now we got a goat boat. I don't get that. Remember the
You
whole
saying
first
the
movie?
that's the
Asgard
technology.
too?
That's the technology. The technology is that they've made it so that the goats can pull this boat.
Can we just have Thor with his chariot and the goats? Why do we need them pulling the?
Those are his goats. That's Tooth
Oh,
Gnasher and Tooth Grinder.
but can he just
Who's goat?
take him throughout? Like, why can't he just travel with them? Why do they have to pull a freaking? Gosh.
That's frustrating, Petey. So let's wrap this up, gentlemen. Are we all in attendance? That we are 100% going to see Thor, no matter what?
You giving us no choice in the matter?
Yeah, this is 100%. And
I don't know if I'll see it in the theater. I may wait for it to be on Disney Plus. But then I still haven't seen Black Widow, all of Black Widow yet. So
oh, you missed. It's a great movie. You gotta watch it. So, you
man,
you're not look. So we're all in attendance. We're gonna watch it. We like what we're seeing. This is an interesting development, and it definitely helps to set up the God Gore the God Butcher. Okay, which we're waiting with who's going to be Christian Bale. Going to be one of the stars of the film. And if you don't know who Christian Bale is, please take a look at the Batman movies and you'll see. He's going to bring a hell of a role.
I couldn't see him with all those characters in the movie. It was hard to see him. He was almost like an extra in that trailer, right?
If I could put my foot through this window, Pete, that's what I got to say. Okay?
How if they do it in alphabetical order, where do you think Christian Bale will come up in this movie? Will he be in the halfway point of the credits?
He'll be under the B. Okay.
he's
No.
gonna be where all the villains are when they come into this movie. He will
Top
make a
villain.
grand entrance and then die in an ignominious manner.
And then Venom is back in the universe.
Venom is already in the universe. They already set it up. We don't need for Venom to be a Thor level villain. It was just so he could a character that could actually beat Spider-Man, and Spider-Man had to use his head to win. And going back to the old way of things, right?
Well, remember they had the whole King in Black series, I think, last year. So
Oh gosh, no! Stop it!
I'm
Stop!
just throwing
I
it.
know it's popular. I know it's popular,
I'm
but
trying to say,
Lord,
you know.
King in
Hey,
the Black.
so hey everybody, I'm glad everybody liked what we saw. If you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, a comment, Spirak.
Out.
Uh,
It's not gonna be
out.
a good one for me. Everyone's gonna be complaining that I complained.